Yo, what is good, everybody? It's your boy, Golden Falls, Golden What If, whatever you want to call me, and I'm back with part 3 of What If Deku had a healing quirk. And I want to give a quick little kind of reminder. I'm gonna be doing every other day, and I'm gonna try to stay consistent with every other day because, like I said in a previous video, I want to basically follow a schedule with a different channel I'm also doing. So I want to have both of them kind of in unison, and both of them kind of going and working together, where I do one of them one day, one of them the next day. Just wanted to say that really quick. I want to remind y'all, I'm probably going to make a little calendar, draw up a calendar, and basically show y'all what the month of February will most likely look like. So yeah, I don't really got much more to say. That's all I really gotta say overall. I hope y'all enjoy the episode or the parts. And if you do, make sure to leave a like, make sure to leave a sub, make sure to leave a comment down below, all that good stuff. And let's get right into where we left off. Let's get it. Izuku Midoriya and Class 1A are still within the USJ. And Izuku is staring down this monster, this freak of nature, other known as a Nomu. And this monster is terrifying, and it's about to hurt Aizawa. Izuku, without even thinking and without even contemplating at all, would charge forward and more or less tackle the Nomu to the side using One for All at a pretty decent margin, being that of about 5 to 7%. But it barely even nudges the Nomu. He gets back to Aizawa as he grabs Aizawa running away as the Nomu tries to keep up, hot on the trail. Izuku continues to try and heal Aizawa, trying to get him in a state where he can move on his own, in which luckily he can get him to that point. Aizawa is able to escape, and Izuku slides out of harm's way and begins to look toward the other heroes, or at least Aizawa and Pro Hero 13. But there's not much they can really do. This, at this point, is kind of out of their hands. Shigaraki, Kurogiri, and the Nomu may be too much for all of them. Izuku decides that he'll step up to the plate and he'll try his best. Now this right here may be the first actual challenge that he's ever truly gone through. Izuku would stand his ground with a Nomu that is arguably actually far above his strength level. Izuku would clash with it, but he can feel that his bones are cracking. But just as they crack, they get filled in and healed once again. Izuku tries to avoid as much as possible, trying to amplify himself more and more. Do anything. 10%, 15% of One for All. It's hurting his body, it's aching, and it feels like it's tearing him apart. A percentage he's not used to. Izuku doesn't know what to do. He feels that the only way to win this, well, is to go 100%. But it will shatter his bones to pieces. So what does this mean? Why? If he does this, it could really, really go bad. It could truly go off the rails for him and his team, or him and Class 1A. He decides to step on the gas as immediately he feels this power surging throughout him, 100% of One for All. And as he's about to charge forward, the doors behind him swing open. Finally, he is here. All Might, without a word, comes charging forward, smashing the Nomu in the face as he gets sent flying. Izuku smiles, saying that it took him long enough. He begins to laugh, All Might scoffing at the fact that Izuku couldn't hold out any longer than that. Izuku shakes his head, and a smile does not leave his face, because they know this fight is over. Because All Might begins to smash into the Nomu as Izuku puts out one hand and an aura begins to channel around All Might. This harsh yellow aura sparks like crazy as if it's boosting All Might's strength by a percentage. It seems so strong, so powerful. All Might blasts the Nomu in the face so hard that there is no absorption, there is no friction, there is no stopping every single punch. All Might sends the Nomu into the wall as he beats the Nomu so bad that it feels as if the Nomu is just mush, launching the Nomu out of the USJ as he stares down Shigaraki and Kurogiri. Shigaraki is shocked, terrified. No, this isn't real. You're fake. You're not real. They told me that you weren't that strong anymore. Of course, Izuku smiles. The contemplation, the terrified aspects of Shigaraki are making Izuku realize that the villains thought far different things than what they ran into. Shigaraki and Kurogiri would disappear. Within a portal, they would be gone in a matter of seconds. All Might and everyone else seems to be safe, actually far better off than in canon. Izuku walks over to All Might and pats him on the back and asks if he needs to get out of here as soon as possible. But All Might shakes his head. He says he feels stronger than ever. Outside of the power boosting that he was getting, he feels even more healed. He tells Izuku that they need to speak very, very soon, and they need to speak about this. Of course, everybody is evacuated out of the USJ, and everyone is brought out back to the UA High School. After that all is said and done, Izuku meets All Might in an office as they begin to speak about what occurred. Izuku speaks about Shigaraki, about whatever those villains wanted, and it seems like they wanted All Might dead, but they believed him to be far weaker than what he truly was. Izuku kind of understands what All Might has to say about what exactly occurred, and he explains. All Might explains that Izuku's powers have slowly but surely been healing him. Yes, this injury is major, but every time Izuku has used his quirk on All Might, or used it in general around All Might, it has healed him slowly but surely. All Might tells him that his powers, combined with One For All, have amplified things beyond imagination. All Might then lifts his shirt up slightly to show his ribcage. Of course, Izuku is shocked to see the damage that is there, but All Might says that damage was 10 times worse, at least, before he met Izuku. And that shocks Izuku to his core. But the only thing is All Might is still running on fumes. He's still running on the last embers of One For All. But All Might says that's fine. The only reason why it was so difficult in the first place is because he was going to run on the last embers of One For All. On top of that, he was extremely injured. But now, he's nowhere near that injury. He feels better, stronger, faster. Now that is something All Might wouldn't even believe he would be hearing and saying. Izuku says that he's thrilled to hear this. I mean, All Might is his role model, is his basically person that he looks up to, his statue, his number one hero. That's the person he wants to look up to, and it's great to hear that he's feeling better. And All Might says that Izuku may truly be the perfect person for this quirk, may truly be the perfect person to take the mantle of number one hero someday. Izuku is happy to hear this, but he knows he has a long way to go, which is completely fine. He understands this, and he's going to thrive off of that. All Might explains that he wants Izuku to continue to heal him. Maybe it would get to the point where he can truly use One For All at a pretty high output, even though the last embers are just within him. And he tells Izuku to keep training, work on everything as one. One For All is now his, and that quirk has combined with One For All itself. It's all one quirk now, Izuku. He begins to explain this as Izuku understands. He says he's going to continue training and continue working hard. All Might is happy to hear this because the next test is incoming, and that is the UA Sports Festival. The UA Sports Festival is the next step in Izuku's ascension, in which will be coming up right now. Izuku is going to be against the world. The UA Sports Festival is something that is perfect to get your name out there. So if Izuku wants to do just that, he'll be able to. And it's a great start because the person that got the number one in the entrance exam will be doing a bit of a speech. Izuku walks up and begins to talk about how he didn't rely on raw strength to get to where he is. He's relied on his wits, his technique, and also helping others. It might seem insane, but he got the number 1 in the entrance exam without really defeating any robots. And it might sound crazy, but he's going to win this, and he promises to do so. He's developed far past that entrance exam Izuku, and he's going to show everybody what he can do, and they will all promise to entertain throughout the entirety of the UA Sports Festival. Everybody's excited, roaring at the fact that Izuku got in basically without even destroying a robot. He just supported people, a true hero's work. And Midnight begins to speak about how inspirational it is, but then talks about the event that's to come, the obstacle course race. With everybody lined up and ready to go, Izuku knows exactly what needs to be done. He'll use a percentage of one for all, about 5%, to get ahead and eventually and hopefully pass up everybody. He activates 5% of one for all as he charges forward as Midnight calls them to go. He blitzes through the first part of the obstacle course race, which is a very narrow hallway, but other than that, it was very easy. Next up would be giant robots. Everybody would hold their breath, especially at somebody that didn't destroy a single robot back then, but he's able to slide through the legs, dodge the robots, and relatively just blitz through faster than anybody else could keep up. Izuku would continue to run as fast as possible, with Todoroki, Bakugo, Tenyuita, and many others hot on his trail. Izuku would follow the ropes across the next obstacle, as finally, with Bakugo, Todoroki, and all them on his trail, he arrives at the minefield. The minefield is something that's going to be difficult, but he has an interesting idea. He decides that he's going to try his best to blitz forward, try his best to basically go through it. But Todoroki and many others behind him believe that its best course of action is to basically just skate through as fast as possible. Todoroki would use his ice to make a path for everybody, but luckily he can control it, so it'd be a lot quicker. Bakugo, on the other hand, can just fly over the bombs, which makes his life a lot easier. And Izuku has an idea. He's been trying something, and something with All Might actually allowed it to stick. This idea that all of this is one quirk, his healing quirk, his one for all quirk, and whatever else is to come, it's all one. Izuku thinks about this as he watches as Bakugo flies across the minefield about to win, and he focuses. He's healed people. He's power boosted people. He's shielded, protected. Now, what about a little bit more? A connection with somebody via healing might allow him to. He focuses and he claps his hands. And as he does, he swaps places with Bakugo, hitting a mine as he blasts forward in front of Todoroki. And he's shocked. I didn't think that was going to work. He activates one for all once again as he dashes through the finish line. And he's won. Bakugo comes in third and he's pissed. How the hell did you do that, you damn nerd? Bakugo is livid, pissed at Izuku. Izuku doesn't even know. He looks at his hands and is shocked. He just transported both of them or swapped places. That is some groovy stuff right there. Izuku shocked himself. It's as if he's trading places to basically save someone's life. He felt something within, as if there was a connection with the people that he heals. It's weird. He's kind of at a loss for words. Everyone asks him what happened. What did he do? That was insane. Did he just move fast? Did he just teleport? Izuku just doesn't even know. He has no idea. Bakugo scoffs at the fact that Izuku is getting all this attention, and all the crowd is shouting his name, shouting Midoriya and Midoriya over and over again. Izuku has made some leaps and has jumped over a lot of the people around him. People have no idea that he was gifted one for all, but it's pretty obvious that Izuku has made utilization of this quirk far greater than anybody else could have, at least so far. Izuku's next task would be the cavalry battle. But this, ironically enough, would be extremely easy and in the favor of Izuku. Yeah, he might have the 10 million point ban or 1 million point whatever, but people would want to go with him. Strong people. People that would be able to utilize their quirks to fend off anybody. On top of that, Izuku can power boost everybody with him. To say that this would be easy would be an understatement. But for simplification, let's just say that he's with Ochaku Uraka. Power boosting her would allow them to levitate, control levitate actually, and do it for a while. On top of that, you add Tokiyami with Dark Shadow power boosted. Tokiyami would easily be able to shield them from anything. Even his resistance to high tendencies of light would kind of be negated, but would not overgrow himself to the point that he would lose control. And more people would be power boosted in strength. The only person that really wouldn't is Mei Hatsume. I mean, obviously she's just a support girl with really no quirk. I guess she can see farther, something like that. But it's an easy breezy, lemon squeezy ride to the finals, or at least the final event. Everybody in his group passes. They don't even lose a headband, and more or less the same people pass as well. Bakugo's group, Todoroki's group, and it's now time for the next event. And this is what everyone has been waiting for. The 1 versus 1 event. 1 versus 1s may not more or less tell you much, but they tell you who's stronger in 1 versus 1 scenarios. That's about it. In a group, helpful, or a hero rescue scenario, 1 versus 1s don't tell you much, but for ego purposes of some of the students there, it will benefit them immensely. Izuku would await and wait for his opponent to be picked, and that opponent would be Hitoshi Shinso. They would call out Hitoshi Shinso versus Izuku Midoriya will be the first match of the day. Izuku would walk out and look at Shinso. He hears from the crowd about what his quirk was, and obviously from his classmates about how his quirk works. Izuku would not let him get under his skin. This version of Izuku has been a martial artist, has been someone that knows how to keep his mind under wraps, at least to a certain extent, so Hitoshi Shinso will not be able to easily overtake Izuku's mind. Izuku would await Shinso to spew these nonsensical words, and Izuku would just smile. He wouldn't even say a word as he gets ready for hand-to-hand combat. Shinso would think that he really got him and that this should be easy enough. Shinso should be able to outbox out martial arts this guy, right? God, no. There's a reason why Izuku took martial arts in the first place. He wanted to be able to defend himself. So when Shinso throws an overhand right, it's immediately caught with a straight into an uppercut, and Izuku immediately flips him to the ground as he tosses him out of the ring. Just like that, Izuku puts his hand in his pockets and he stares at Shinso. Your quirk is real strong, but just like me, I realized something. That with my quirk, I wouldn't be able to do things on my own. Ever. If someone came up to me, I might even die. So what I did was I trained, and then trained some more. Martial arts, boxing, kickboxing, whatever you can think of. That's what I did. Maybe you should look into doing that as well, Shinso. The crowd would go crazy over the fact that Izuku just casually won this fight, and he would await his next fight that is to come. His next fight would be against Shoto Todoroki, someone that has a powerful, insane quirk, and Izuku would walk to the stage ready to go. He would know that there are some instances that would allow himself probably to get ring out if he's not careful. Shoto is someone that is definitely going to be a challenge. But he does know his weakness. He's going to use his ice attack so much to the point that he'll freeze out, slow down, and the fight will be over. Izuku would just activate One for All, dodging as much as possible, and even with big, gigantic amounts of ice that are being used, he'll use one clap. As he does, he swaps places, and Shoto's behind the ice wall himself, unable to recover from the ice he just used, forced to break it himself, as he looks at Izuku and he's panting, tired. He's already out of this fight. Izuku questions why he no longer or doesn't use his fire. He knows it stabilizes him, so why not use it? Izuku shakes his head, saying that someone like him, someone so gifted, should truly use his entire quirk. But Todoroki refuses, saying that this is not his quirk, this is his father's quirk, that he refuses to use it. But Izuku says otherwise. That's his quirk. There's a reason why he has it. Of course, it's all a matter of perspective though. Izuku explains that they need to use whatever that universe gave them. They gave Todoroki two powerful combinations of quirks. Don't put that to waste. Don't do it because of that hatred. Don't let it control you. Izuku makes this very apparent, saying that this fight isn't even worth it if he doesn't use his fire side. It's not worth it at all. He won't let Todoroki sit here, whine, cry, and complain when everyone else is trying their absolute hardest. Izuku tells him one last time to use his fire side, that it's his damn quirk. And as he does, the stadium erupts. Cheers begin to follow because a blaze of fire rings out on top of Todoroki. Because guess what? Fire and ice has arrived. Izuku smiles as he stares into this insane tunnel vision of a fight. He knows he just made this 10 times harder for himself, but he doesn't care. The fight would continue on, flames and ice going about, as the clash of both of them would be absolutely insane. Izuku would eventually crank One for All up to 100%. One last duel. One last clash. Izuku doesn't care if he shatters every bone in his body. He's going to give it his all. If he doesn't, then he'll just be as bad as what Todoroki was. He smashes his hand into a flame and ice trailblaze of power, and smoke would overlay everything. Cementos and Midnight tried to stop it, but as the smoke clears, well, it looks like they're both out of the ring. Being that Izuku is even stronger and more capable in this regard, on top of that, far less hurt, well, he may have been able to win, but at the same time, the double knockout seems to fit the mold. Todoroki and Izuku stand up, shaken but not stirred, but Todoroki falls back to the ground. Izuku would go over there as he picks him up and he begins to heal Todoroki, and Todoroki asks how he maintains his stamina with all the healing he's been doing. Izuku shakes his head and says he doesn't. He's exhausted and wants a nap. Todoroki would slightly laugh at the fact that Izuku is still able to keep that smile on his face, so similar to that number one hero. Izuku would help Todoroki off, and this would lead, let's be honest, to Bakugo winning the UA Sports Festival. It would suck for Bakugo, but he wouldn't be yelling, he wouldn't be mad, because it was a double ring out. What was he supposed to do? Nothing. He couldn't do anything. Was he mad that he didn't get to have the fight he wanted? Of course, but he'll get it. He'll get it eventually. And in a way, Bakugo has had some character development on that regard. He knows that that fight will come. Is it frustrating? Yes, but at least they both knocked each other out, because that means nobody was holding back, so we can't be mad at that. But nonetheless, it all ends with Bakugo on top, and the UA Sports Festival is over. Now, the real question is, what's next? Where will Izuku go to his agency? He would speak with All Might about where he should go. All Might suggesting somebody that tears him or scares him and makes him terrified, Gran Torino. But the choice is still up to him, because he knows darn well that there's going to be a lot of heroes that want to have him train under, well, themselves, making them look better and also making him a better hero. Izuku arrives at school to look at where he's gonna go and the choices he has, and those choices are plentiful. Some include Gran Torino. One includes the number 2 hero, Endeavor, and another includes the rabbit hero, someone of high martial arts status and high physical fighting, being that of Mirako. Where will he go? Where should he go? Well, leave suggestions if you want, and you'll have to find out in the next part of What If Deku Had a Healing Quirk. And if you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, make sure to leave a sub, make sure to leave a comment down below, all that good stuff. And I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and I hope y'all continue to enjoy the video. Show love, all that good, show love, show a bunch of, hit the like, all that stuff. And yeah, that's about it. I hope y'all enjoyed, and I hope all y'all have an amazing day. Later.